Thank you for staying with us. Moving to the major conversation for today. In a surprising turn of events, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, led by military regimes, have declared an immediate withdrawal from the West African bloc, ECOWAS. The nations argue that ECOWAS has transformed into a threat rather than a support system for its members, accusing ECOWAS of inadequately backing their fight against terrorism and insecurity. The trio alleges the imposition of illegal, illegitimate, inhumane, and irresponsible sanctions. They further claim that the organization, influenced by foreign powers, is deviating from its founding principles. Recall that all three were previously suspended from ECOWAS, with Niger and Mali facing severe sanctions. In response, these countries have strengthened their stance, forming an alliance of Sahel states in recent months. The implications of this withdrawal are yet to unfold, but it marks a significant shift in the regional dynamics. Joining us to have this conversation into the reasons behind this bold move and the potential implications for the West African region is Dr. Dayo Kayode. He's a political technocrat. Good morning, Dr. Dayo. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure joining you on this very special discourse this morning. Josh, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
All right, let us start this way. Part of the points put out there by these three countries is the fact that ECOWAS has somewhat moved away from its founding policies. Let us take a look at the ECOWAS treaty and how you think they've gotten it wrong to make these countries make such a statement.
Yes, thank you very much. Number one, when I had that withdrawal on Sunday between you and me, I was highly elated because since the creation of ECOWAS, I think in 1975 or so, I have never seen the essence of ECOWAS till date, except probably during the war in Liberia, whereby ECOMOG was formed. When you now come to the treaty of ECOWAS, what are those things or some salient ones there? With the name ECOWAS, it's economic cooperation of West African states. To what extent have we been supporting ourselves economically to be each other's keeper? To what extent have we been assisting ourselves against foreign powers? Let us even leave it at that too. When it comes to economic cooperation, since when have we been talking about a common currency within the sub-region? Who or which of the foreign powers has been putting cogs in the wheel of that particular progress? This in France. Because one knows that the moment we have our common currency, the Francophone countries' economic freedom that have been tied to France's economy will be severed. Okay, let us come to protection against foreign powers. It is also the same France that is causing that. Look at the political story of even Benin Republic here. The way France has been imposing leaders there. And whichever leader goes against the time of progress of Benin Republic to theirs, they will remove that leader, put their own strategy. But let us come to the G, which has been the recent one. Look at the way France had been cutting away, mining their resources and cutting those resources away to develop their own country without development of that particular republic, and subjugating the whole country to poverty. Nigeria as a big brother, Ghana as a big brother, what are they supposed to do? Are they not supposed to give them support? But the Nigerians are now saying, look, we have not been enjoying democracy. Their democratic leaders have been owing allegiance to France. Even though they have been given independence, the Nigerians, they have not been enjoying freedom. Because all their economic sectors, all their developmental sectors, economy, military, education, international relations, and all that, were being tied to the paper of France. And they said, okay, if their democratic leaders cannot assure their freedom, then let us fight military. Let us fight military. And they decide to opt for that. What are the big brothers they are supposed to do? They were not talking about sanctions. I remember, even Nigeria, the Nigerian government, headed by Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was the project leader of these sanctions, saying that we come up their right. Talking about the agreement Nigeria had with Niger Republic during the war era, as regards that they should not dam it in their own country. Let us dam it in Nigeria so that we can give you light. We can give you light. You are forgetting that. You're not saying you're going to cut off their light. When are you in support of a foreign nation? A foreign nation oppressing and suppressing your brother?
All right, doctor.
A foreign nation. Listen, sir. One second. Oppressing and suppressing your brother? And when they see that, yes, they are not having the necessary support from ECOWAS, then what was the point of being in that union? What's the point? Let us hold our own boots by the horn. And then chat away our own cause.
All right, that has been taken.
At that time, I told ECOWAS, instead of sanctions, why not solve this problem through diplomatic means? Because you cannot force me to be where I don't want to be.
All right, taking it.
I am an adult. I have my sovereignty.
All right, taking it from that last statement you made about sovereignty and of course having one's right as an economic state to decide on what they want to do. Some persons are of the reaction of the opinion that the exit of these three states are by virtue of Bola Tinubu's constant coercion of these states to be able to step down the military presence they have there so as to allow democracy to thrive. Whereas from the presidency, they are saying that this suspension is technical given the fact that it has been placed on them before the emergence of Bola Tinubu as president, and of course, the chairperson in the African state. What's your statement as regards this?
You see, I will this morning not want to go into that details of Bola Tinubu's involvement. Because you know why? Because at that time that issue happened in Niger Republic, Bola Tinubu was still fighting for his acceptance as the president of Nigeria. And when you look at it, the Western world that are oppressing and suppressing Niger Republic, we're looking at Nigeria as a military power that can easily overrun Niger Republic. You also remember that at that time, even this Bola you mentioned was threatening military tactics in suppressing the new leader, the military leader of Niger Republic, and forcing back Bozo, the democratic leader of the Niger Republic there. Remember, Niger Republic warned him that he should try it. They will crush Nigeria. It was there that he now sent, I think, Abdul Salam, and perhaps Sule Lamido Sanusi to that place. Now the question is, who was Bola Tinubu impressing towards fighting his brother from removing his apron from the subjugation, suppression, oppression of fans? Who was he trying to impress? The Americans, or perhaps so that they will not release what Nigerians are asking for them, as regards the CIA report on him, as regards the issue of Chicago Gate, as regards Chicago State University issue. Was that why? It's a question. But that's why I said I wouldn't want to go into that. All right. Because like the retired military man said, or I think the chief of staff or whatever, said, okay, don't let us open up that issue of the plane crash that killed the former chief of staff, so that they don't open can of worms. So don't let us use that one to open can of worms this morning. Rather, a sign of ECOWAS as regards defending member states against foreign incursion. Because the activities of France in Niger Republic, in Mali, in Burkina Faso is nothing other than incursion into other states' sovereignty, which should be totally crushed, or which is supposed to have been totally crushed by ECOWAS. So ECOWAS has failed in all its ramifications against protecting its members. So why wouldn't Mali, Burkina Faso, and this thing get away from me?
So you just made Dr. D, please, let's have a conversation. You've established a point. saying that ECOWAS failed to protect these three countries, which makes it
Another countries.
Yes, which makes it understandable, why they would feel the way they are feeling right now, and of course, leading to the action of withdrawing their membership with ECOWAS. That is noted. However, there are schools of thought out there who are saying that this threat of withdrawal from Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso is not very permanent, in the sense that this might be a ploy to finally get the attention they have been demanding from ECOWAS, and so that maybe eventually this time, just maybe this time, ECOWAS will pay attention and do what they are supposed to. So in essence, this school of thought is saying probably if ECOWAS plays ball the way they are supposed to, that these three countries will retrace and get back to have maybe a conversation and, come to an agreement or a compromise with ECOWAS. Do you see that happening?
Yes. Are you also aware that these three countries too have formed their own coalition of Sahel? That is one. Two, I'm sure Americans must have gotten the inkling of what was supposed to happen last Sunday. That was why the American Secretary of State came to Nigeria. And then perhaps, I'm sure, that would have been part of the behind the closed door meetings with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes. In the coming days, this thing will come out. I was telling somebody on the eve of the very day that Blinken visited Tinubu, I said Americans don't visit Nigeria anyhow. There must be something in the offing. There must be something in the offing which will come out, which will see come out. Here we are, the following Sunday, this withdrawal. Now, if anybody is looking at this as a threat, I bet you those guys are damn serious. That's what they are saying. Because there is another Yoruba. That is, when the gods cannot say somebody who has gone to those gods for protection, and the God cannot protect that person, then instead of you adding salt to his injury, why don't you leave that person the way he is? And that is the ideology that I am sure these countries are standing on. And in coming days, I can assure you, other Francophone countries will be joining.
All right. Talking about other Francophone countries joining this exit, some persons are of the opinion that this would affect us economically when it comes to trade unions. What does this portend for us?
Can you please come again? I can't hear you properly.
Yeah, speaking of other Francophone countries in your submission, also taking a cue from what these three economic states have already taken now in terms of their exit, some persons have the opinion that it might affect us adversely when it comes to our trade union with these three economic states, considering the fact that we might have to obtain a visa to be able to travel down to these states. What's your view on that?
In the first instance, what economic gains have you been seeing in ECOWAS? What economic gains? It's Nigeria that we lose now, especially in view of the trade that we always have with our neighbors, the two neighbors, the one in the south and the one in the north. Niger in the north, Benin Republic in the south. It is Nigeria that will lose economically, even security-wise. These guys have been doing a lot as regards weeding off of some of the insurgents into our country. They can even collude with them isolating Nigeria, especially from Niger Republic. And that's why I want Bola Tinubu there that you better tread softly. You better be careful. Don't say because you want social person support as the president of Nigeria, then you be fighting your neighbor. Because you don't know who and who will be supporting that your close door neighbor against you. If the chiefs are down and the Americans want to go to war through Nigeria with Niger Republic, what do you think? Who do you think Russia will support? Are you even aware that Russia are now signed a military pact with Niger Republic? And when Russia joins Niger Republic, can Nigeria withstand their firepower? Not only Russia now. Where will China stay? Where will Korea stay? Where will Japan stay? Who will they back? Can we withstand them? And these are the warnings I gave to him then to tread softly. You know, I mean, of what importance has democratic rule been to sustaining Nigerians economically, socially, culturally, and politically. And they are now saying, look, when I saw Wednesday, we can determine who rules us. And they decide to the military. All Bola Tinubu supposed to have done then was to support them. To what of in contrast with the Niger Republic. And thereafter, after gaining their support, after gaining their confidence, now say, okay guys, military rule has been outlawed. Military rule is now out of fashion. Let us have a way, let us design a course towards returning back to democracy. Then those guys will have respected him as a big brother. Those guys will have respected him as somebody who is also out to define the territorial integrity of the ECOWAS Union. But look at where we are now. Are they trusting again? Would they want to listen to him again?
All right.
There are issues.
All right, Dr. D. While we round off, there has been conversations around what this portends for these three countries. We don't know that there have been some coalitions formed among themselves, of course, and even with external forces, external powers, talking about powers from the East like Russia and all. That is established and agreed on. But if you look at these countries, and I'm taking this from your last submission where you mentioned about trade and how it has benefited any of us, by the way, as it regards the treaty with ECOWAS. These countries are mostly landlocked, especially, except of course for Guinea, which would have been expected to be a part of these trio, making them four, but for somehow Guinea still is a member of ECOWAS and hasn't really said anything, but has established support for these three, even while staying, I don't want to say sitting on the fence, but you know what I mean. These countries are landlocked economically, away from the military support that they will be getting from the Wagner Group and Russia and, all that backing. Let us look at the economic implications the sanctions are already having on these countries and what it will continue to mean for them if they are not able to kind of find alternatives for themselves to a lot of other things. One is trade, one is power, and of course, even food supply and water. How do you think these will affect them? As we round off, please.
See, my dear, there is no country that is landlocked. No country. We are only using that one as a fear. Another Yoruba adage, that is, we have never seen this one before. before. We have never seen this one before. It's a lie. There is nothing that is new under the heavens. Let me tell you this. Talking about landlord, don't they have airports? That is one. Two, if you have been following the trajectory of this ECOWAS in Google in the past few months, where is Ghana? Where is Ghana standing? Who is telling you that Ghana will not support the Niger Republic? And then when it now comes to sea transportation, who is telling you that they cannot be coming in through Ghana? It is Nigeria that we lose. See, what do we produce in Nigeria? Ordinary wheat and corn. We do import those from the Niger Republic. Maybe they will stop it. Maybe they will stop it. You know how much of import we make from Niger Republic? It only must be. Tell me, who's going to suffer? Niger Republic cannot suffer. And if they can stand on this, I bet you this will protect economic growth, economic development, social integration in those countries. If they can maintain it, because in the first instance, nobody will be coming to be taking away their resources again to develop their country. Their resources will be used to develop that same country. If they could stay that way, I bet you in the next 5-10 years, their currency will even be times 10 of Nigerian currency, the way we are now. We are not a serious nation. We are not a serious nation. We did how many months? 8 months. Our naira fell by how many percent? Over 200%. Are we a serious nation? Are we serious with ourselves? What are the kind of policies you are teaching us? Are they not digitocratic? When you are supposed to say, okay, for everybody to enjoy the time, okay, let us do the 4 bites of work. So, at least for that period, you are saying, because you want to give them transportation subsidy, you are now coming up with some few transport companies to give them that money to this. How many people enjoyed it? You will see the Pandora box and be open as regards taking away our resources based on that particular defensive policy. So let us leave those people alone, no? Let them be on their own. Because you will see now some Nigerians in the next 3 years will be Japan to the Niger Republic and some of these other Francophone countries. What they have done will protect economic growth and development for them, inclusive of social integration. But on the other hand, it protects reduction in our access to those things, those food items we import from them. And what does that protect for us? Another economic hardship.
All right. There are a lot of schools of thought out there since this news broke on Sunday evening, Dr. D. And I'd like to quickly get your opinion on this one just before we round off. Some persons are of the opinion that what is happening with ECOWAS since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over is a representation of the lack in leadership qualities as we are experiencing it in Nigeria as a country. And they believe, the persons peddling this school of thought believe that if you're not able to handle home, then you probably won't be able to handle it elsewhere. Do you agree with this school of thought?
Is that not true? Another Yoruba proverb says that any time that's your phone, that is, if I'm going to give you a clothes, you first of all assess the one I'm wearing, whether I am capable to give you one or not. So we're talking about what kind of democracy do we practice here in Nigeria? Is it not all about snap victory and run away with it? Then let us meet at the court. And then when you go to that same court, the court will be validating series of violations, just as you are saying. So, who are you to be telling Niger Republic that they should go democratic? Who are you? Are you a Democrat? Are you a Democrat in heart and not just by mouth? So who are you? Even the position you are, how did you get there? How did you get there? The position you are. Telling me about electoral glitches. Somebody coming up with electoral glitches. Were you there based on the dictates of the Constitution as regards so many of the circumstances during the election, whereby we were having double nominations? Your fellow president, Akpabio, and the former one, are they supposed to be in the Senate by now? Rather in a correctional center based on electoral laws infractions. So what are you talking about? And so many others like that. Like I said, just like you said, some people have said.
All right. I did mention that it's a lot of schools of thought out there churning out opinions as regards the situation we found ourselves in. And of course, it's about to be a very interesting couple of days, a couple of weeks, if not months, as it lingers until we're able to resolve this ECOWAS issue. We must say thank you so much, Dr. Dyer, for joining us on the show this morning. We appreciate your time.
Yes, I appreciate you having me too in this particular discourse. Enjoy the rest of your day and the week.